ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं खलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलां नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते। सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीला परिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयं। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भूमोस्खलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनम् त्वय्यजात अपराधानां त्वमैव शरणं प्रभो। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित् तं नृसिंहमहं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 12th chapter, the narration of Dhruva's life. So, yesterday we heard that Dhruva was in Badrikashram, he was performing various penances, and suddenly he saw that from the sky one airplane was coming down to the earth. The airplane was a very, very effulgent, just like a rising moon, and he also saw that there were two persons standing in the airplane. They were holding Gada, the mace, and they were very young aged. Their eyes resembled that of a rising sun, the lotus that has the color of the rising sun. They have 4 hands, and their color is like that of dark clouds. So he saw these two godly persons standing in that particular airplane, who were also dressed beautifully, and they had crown on the top of their heads, and they had beautiful ornaments and decorations all over their body. Then Dhruva could understand that these persons are none other than the servants or the associates of my worshipable object Narayana, and he, in a state of confusion, he immediately stood up, not preparing for any kind of a paraphernalia for worshipping them. He stood up, and then only by chanting the name of Narayana he offered his obeisances to them. Then the two servants who were in the airplane, by name Sunanda and Nanda, both of them saw Dhruva standing in a very, very humble manner with his palms folded, and with a lot of love and affection they spoke to Dhruva in this manner. My dear king, all auspiciousness may come upon you. When you were only 5 years old, you have worshipped the Supreme Lord, and you have attained his darshan. He is not attainable even by the greatest rishis and munis, but you have attained him only when you are 5 years old. And now you are welcome to that abode of Supreme Lord, that is Vaikuntha, and that is the reason the Lord has sent both of us. That now you please, this state was not attained by your father or your grandfather or even the greatest of the rishis and munis, but you have attained only when you are very, very young. Therefore you are very fortunate, and you are worshipable by everyone. Now you please place your feet in this plane, and then you come along with us to the Vaikuntha Dham. So by listening these beautiful flowery words, affectionate words of these servants of Narayana, Dhruva took bath. He performed all his bodily activities. He went to the rishis in order to take their blessings, and then after that he offered obeisances to the airplane. He performed circumambulation of that airplane, and also he offered his obeisances to both Nanda and Sunanda. And after that he put his step on the head of the god of death, Mrityu, and then he went into the airplane. Means he entered into the Vaikuntha Dham with his own body as he is, without any the body got completely spiritualized, and he entered Sasharir along with his own body into the Vaikuntha Dham, into the airplane. So he entered into the airplane. Death was standing in front of him, but he has very easily crossed over death. Now we will continue from verse number 31. Tada Dundubhayo Nedur Mridanga Panavadayah Gandharva Mukhyaha Prachandaha Paituhu Kusma Vrishtayah. ওই সময়ে দুন্দুভি মৃদঙ্গ পর্ণভ প্রভৃতি বাদ্যসমূহ বাজিতে লাগিল. So when he entered into that airplane, at that time the trumpets, the drums, the horns, all these things, they were various kinds of musical instruments were played. These are all these musical instruments signify auspiciousness or happiness. প্রধান প্রধান গন্ধর্বগণ গান করিতে আরম্ভ করিলেন এবং আকাশ হইতে পুষ্পবৃষ্টি হইতে লাগল. All the chief Gandharvas, the Gandharvas are known for their beautiful singing. So the Gandharvas started to sing various praises and from the sky, the flowers were rained upon Dhruva. Sacha Swarlokam Arokshan Suniting Jananing Dhruva Anvasmaradagam Hitva Dinam Yasye Tripistapam. ধ্রুব যখন বিষ্ণুপদে আরোহণ উদ্যত হইলেন তখন দুঃখিতা জননী সুনীতিকে পরিত্যাগ করিয়া দুর্গম স্বর্গধামে কিরূপে গমন করিব এইরূপ ভাবিতে লাগিলেন. So when he sat in the airplane to be heading towards the Vaikuntha planets, everything was ready, everything was set, and he immediately remembered about his mother Suniti Devi. He thought that, if I go now, then my mother will be very, very much deprived, very much, she will be in suffering because of my separation. And actually, the reason why Dhruva remembered his mother was his first guru. His mother has, given him advice that he should go to the forest in order to perform Hari Bhajan. And then he went into Hari Bhajan, after which he met Narada, and he gave further instructions. But it is by the inspiration of his mother he went into the forest to perform Hari Bhajan. Also, now Suruchi is not there any longer. Uttam is also not there. Uttanapad, he also left for the forest. After he gave the kingdom to Dhruva, even Uttanapad left. Therefore, now his mother is all alone. Of course, the son of Dhruva is there, but none of his Dhruva or the other son, the other stepmother, nobody is there. So he was thinking about the mother, and then he was thinking that how can I leave my mother here and then proceed? She should also be going to the Goloka Dham, Vaikuntha Dham. Iti vyavasitam tasya vyavasaya surottamau darshayama satur devim puro yanena gacchatim. যে ভগবত পার্শ্বদ্বয় ধ্রুবকে লইতে আসিয়াছিলেন তাহারা ধ্রুবের এইরূপ অভিপ্রায় বুঝিতে পারিয়া ধ্রুবের অগ্রী বিমানারোহণ গমনকারিণী সুনীতি দেবীকে দেখাইয়া দিলেন. So the two associates of Narayana, they could understand what is in the heart of Dhruva. Dhruva need not have to express, because in the land of Chinmay Dham, what is not known? They know everything. So these two persons, the two associates of the Lord, they could understand what was going inside the mind of Dhruva, and therefore both of them they showed another airplane going in front of his airplane. Said that, you see, in that airplane your mother is sitting. So before even Dhruva went, his mother already started her journey towards the Vaikuntha. So they pacified him by saying that, see, in that airplane your mother is also there. Tatra tatra prashansadbhihi pathi vaimanikai suraihi tava kiryamano didrishe kusumaihi kramasho grahan. ধ্রুব স্বর্গমার্গে যাইতে যাইতে তাহার প্রশংসাকারী বিমান বিহারী দেবতাগণ কর্তৃক পুষ্প বর্ষণ দ্বারা বিভূষিত হইয়া থাকিলেন এবং ক্রমশঃ গ্রহগণকে দেখিতে পাইলেন. So in this manner, when Dhruva was going in the path of the sky, he saw that there are so many demigods. They are also flying in the sky in their own airplanes. There are so many airplanes. Each demigod have their own airplanes. A minister in a country has airplane, his own airplane, and demigods cannot have their own airplane. They will have many airplanes. So there are so many demigods. They were flying in the sky in their own airplane, and then they were singing the praises of Dhruva. And also they were raining flowers upon Dhruva. So he also saw all these demigods, because to go to Vaikuntha Dham, he has to, pass through all these lokas, all these planets. So he has passed through all of these demigods' planets, and then he further Kramashah Grahagan ke dekhte paile, and also he saw further planets above. So all these things he got to see on his journey towards Vaikuntha. Trilokim Devayanena so ativrajya muninapi parastad yadhruva gatir vishno padam arthabhyagat yad bhrajamanam swaruchaiva sarvato lokastrayo hyanu vibhrajanta ete यन्नाव्रजन् जंतुषु ये अननुग्रहा व्रजन्ति भद्राणि चरन्ति ये अनिशम् ध्रुव এই রূপে বিমান যোগে ত্রিলোক এবং সপ্তর্ষি মণ্ডলকেও अतिक्रम करिया ताहादिगेरऊ ऊर्ध्ववर्ती विष्णुपद प्राप्त हइलेन. So in this manner, Dhruva has crossed over all the planets, and then he also passed through the Saptarshi Mandal, the place where the Saptarshi, the 7 rishis, they stay. Even he crossed over that planet also in the airplane, and finally he attained the Vishnupada, the place of Supreme Lord Vishnu. Oi pada swiya tejo dwarai sarvada pradipta. So that Vaikuntha planet is radiating with its own effulgence. Like this Earth planet, it has to be illuminated by the sun or the moon. It has no illumination by itself. But the Vaikuntha planet is a self-illuminated object or self-illuminated abode. So that Vaikuntha Dham is a self, always, not like in the morning it is there, in the night it is not there. No, always a self-illuminated abode. उहार निम्नवर्ती अपरापर लोक समूह उहार दीप्ति द्वारा ही निरंतर प्रकाशित रहिया छे. And all the planets that are below that Vaikuntha are in fact illuminated only by the light of Vaikuntha. By the light of Vaikuntha only, all the other planets that are lower than Vaikuntha, they got illuminated. Otherwise, there cannot be any illumination in those planets also. Jahara प्राणीगणेर प्रति निरंतर हेतु आचरण करें ताहारई ओ उत्तम पद लाभ करते समर्थ हन. So that planet, who can attain that planet? Maitreya is telling to Vidura, only those persons who endeavor to bring welfare upon other living entities, only they get the topmost. Those who bring welfare upon others, only they are eligible to reach that place. Means what? Who can bring welfare to others? A person who has brought his own welfare first. He can bring welfare upon others. What is true welfare? I don't know. I think that the taking care of my bodily needs are my true benefits. That is what I need. If my bodily necessities are fulfilled, then I am happy. Therefore, I also think that when others' bodily necessities are fulfilled, then he will also be happy. No, it is not being said about that. Auspiciousness. Where is highest auspiciousness? Highest auspiciousness is Krishna Bhakti. Prabhupada used to say that greatest inauspiciousness is forgetful of Supreme Lord. The forgetfulness of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the greatest inauspiciousness. Whenever we forget, that moment is inauspicious. When we remember Krishna, that moment is auspicious. Therefore, to bring welfare upon others, first we have to purify ourselves. Without we being purified, we cannot purify others, because those instructions will not carry any value. That is why, although it is said that people, those who bring welfare upon others will attain that particular state, it means only the devotees. They can only bring welfare upon others, not ordinary people. Ordinary people can bring material benefits at max, at most, but not the highest benefit. Therefore, here about the Vaikuntha planet it is said that it is self-illuminating abode, and it only provides, it is the abode by which all other planets also got illuminated, and those who bring welfare upon everyone else, they attain that state, that abode. So that abode Dhruva attained. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Dhruva has crossed over even the planet of the Saptarshis, the 7 rishis, and then he has transcended to the highest plane, that is the place of Vishnu or the abode of Vishnu. And Dhruva here, the meaning of Dhruva, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Dhruva means Nishchala. Nishchala means steady. He who is very, very determined, that is Dhruva. So, by his character of being steady, he attained that Dhruva Loka, that place of Dhruva. So, one meaning Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that place which is steady, there is one thing called Dhruva Loka, all everyone say, but Dhruva Loka, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is also signifying here that place which is Dhruva, that place which is steady, means that place where there is no death, that place from where there is no falling again, that is Dhruva Loka, that is nothing but Vaikuntha planet only. So Dhruva Loka, here he indicates that Dhruva Loka is nothing but Vishnu Loka, because Dhruva itself means steady. Anything that is other than Vishnu's planet, it is not steady, it is unsteady. Therefore Dhruva Loka means Vishnu Loka. So, and further, what is the characteristic about Vishnu Loka? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary that abode of Vishnu is self-effulgent or self-illuminating, and not only that, because of the illumination of that abode, because of the rays that come out of that particular abode, all other planets in the cosmos, they get illuminated. It is self-illuminating, and also it illuminates all other planetary worlds. That is Vaikuntha Dham. Shanta samadrishaha shuddhaha sarvabhutanu ranjanaha yantyanja साच्युत पद विच्युत प्रिय बांधवाः. जहारा शांत समदर्शी शुद्ध सर्व प्राणी के हरि सेवोन्मुख करिया ताहादिगेर आत्मार रंजन करिया थाकेन एवं श्रीकृष्णई जाहादेर एकमात्र परम प्रिय बांधव ताहारो अनायासे सेई अच्युत पदे गमन करिया थाकेन. And further, it is said, who else are eligible to attain that supreme abode? Those who are shanta, very, very peaceful. Who can be peaceful? A person in whose heart there is Supreme Lord. Only that person can be peaceful. All other persons who are carrying a bunch of material thoughts in their mind, they cannot be stable. They cannot be peaceful. Even Vedavyasa Muni, he was not peaceful, even after writing Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Why? Because these are the objects that will only give more and more trouble to living entities and to the self. Therefore, Shanta, a person can be quite peaceful only when he is rich with Krishna Bhakti. So, those who are Shanta, those who are peaceful, those who are Samadarshi, those who have the quality of seeing everyone equally. Seeing everyone equally means seeing the existence of Supreme Lord in all the living entities. Therefore, he does not show any partiality to anyone. He is impartial. He sees a man, a woman, a dog, an elephant, a serpent, everything. He sees as, non-different. Everyone is like, in everyone there is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is Samadarshi. And Shuddha, pure. What is pure? All material things are impure. Those who carry material things in their mind, they are also impure. So who can be pure? Only a person who is performing Hari Bhajan, or in whose heart that highest purifying object, that is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he is there, that is, he is pure. And Sarva Prani ke Hari Sevonmukha Kuriya, and he makes everyone favorable towards devotion. Means he himself has the devotion because he is Shanta, he is sober, he is quiet, he is peaceful, he has equivision, he sees everyone equally, and then he is pure, and therefore he can bring welfare upon others, or he will make everyone into Krishna Bhaktas, and thus bring happiness to everyone. So such kind of persons are also eligible to attain Vaikuntha Dham. Those who are peaceful, those who are equivisioned, and those who are pure, those who make everyone into Krishna Bhaktas and thereby give happiness to them, and also of whom Krishna is dearmost. Krishna is dearmost for them. Such persons also attain that place of Vishnu very, very easily. So Maitreya is telling to Vidura that those who are eligible to attain the Supreme Lord. One is, previously we heard, those who bring welfare upon others, they are eligible. And also those who are peaceful, those who are equivisioned, all these qualities those who have, they also attain that abode. Ityuttanapadah putro Dhruvaha pancha Krishna parayanaha adbhut trayanam lokanam chudamani rivamalaha gambhira rego nimisham jyotisham chakramahitam yasmin bhramati kauravya madhyamiva gavanganaha. हे विदुर, ध्रुव जे स्थान लाभ करिलेन सेई स्थाने ज्योतिषचक्र योजित हइया जे रूप बलिबद्ध समूह मेधिते बद्ध हइया भ्रमण करे सेई रूप निरंतर उहाके वेष्टन करिया अव्यवच्छिन्न वेगे भ्रमण करिते छे. So, my dear Vidur, Maitreya is telling to Vidura, my dear Vidura, the place that Dhruva has attained, that is surrounded by the stars and the planets in the sky. Just like a bull is tied to a pole. There is a wheel and there is a pole inside that, and then a bull is tied to with a rope along with the pole. So when the bull rotates, then the wheel rotates. When the wheel rotates, then whatever is to be crushed or whatever is to be done, the wheel performs that. So it is done in the villages. So in a similar manner, this Jyotish Chakra, the astrological wheel, is surrounding or revolving around the Dhruva's planet, the place where Dhruva has attained. All the celestial bodies, all the stars, etc., they revolve around this Dhruva's planet. Ei rupe Uttannapada Nandan Krishna Parayana Nirmala Chitta Dhruv Loko Trayer Chudamani Swarupa Vayachilan. So in this manner, the son of Uttanapad, who is Krishna Parayana, who is fully Krishna conscious, who is fully, whose mind is completely absorbed in Krishna, he, with a purified heart, he became the crushed jewel of all the living entities. He is the crushed jewel, he is the decoration of all the living entities by which he has performed Haribhajan, through which, by which he has attained that highest abode. He has purified his heart and therefore he attained the topmost state. Thus he is the crushed jeweler of all the living entities. Mahimanam vilokyasya narado bhagavan rishihi atodyam vinudan shlokan satre agayat prachetasam. Aishwaryavan Devarshi Narad Dhruvero etadrisha mahima darshan kuriya Prajapati ganer jaggo sabhai बीनाबादन करते करते निम्नलिखित 3टी श्लोक गान करियाছিলেন. So Devarshi Narad, who has actually initiated Dhruva into Krishna Bhakti in the forest, Devarshi Narad, he saw this, his own disciple Dhruva entering into the Vaikuntha planet by transcending all the various planets, and how he has fixed his mind steadily on the Supreme Lord. So he has seen all these things, and then he went to the Prajapati's assembly, where Prajapatis means those who are responsible for increasing the progeny in this material world. So he went to the assembly of the Prajapatis, and there they were performing some sacrifices. So in that sacrificial assembly of the Prajapatis, the Dhruva went there, Narada went there, and he started to sing the glories of Dhruva. Sing the glories of Dhruva means when Guru is speaking about the disciple, then it should be understood that it is the blessing. It is the blessing that Narada Goswami is giving. And then in this manner he is giving an example to everyone how Dhruva has attained Supreme Lord so easily by performing Haribhajan within a span of 6 months itself. So thus Narada he saw the glory of Dhruva, and thus he started singing to the Prajapatis in this manner. The following 3 verses speak about the glories of Dhruva. What Narada has spoken about Dhruva. So we will stop here because we will not be able to complete 3 verses. Or shall we read one? We will read 1 verse and then we can stop. Nunam sunitehe pati devataya stapah prabhavasya sutasya tam gatim drishtva bhyupayanapi vedavadino naivadhigantum prabhavanti kim ripaha. Shlok 3a. पति परायण सुनीतिर पुत्र ध्रुव तपः प्रभावे जे फल प्राप्त हইয়াছিলেন আমি নিশ্চয় বলিতেছি পার্থিব রাজগণ দূরে থাকুন ব্রহ্মবাদী ব্রহ্মর্ষিগণও কখনো সেই ফল লাভ করিতে সমর্থ হন না আর অপরবার নৃপবৃন্দের কথা কি বলিব. So Devarshi Narada is speaking to the Prajapatis in this manner that Pati Parayana Suniti, who was a very, very chaste woman, and her son Dhruva, by the influence of his intense, by the power or the influence of his own intense penances, Dhruva has attained this topmost state. And I am telling it for sure. Narada is telling to the Prajapatis, it is for certain that in this material world, no other king, even the Brahmavadis, those who are followers of the Brahmavada, Brahmavada means the monistic philosophers, even they also cannot get this abode that Dhruva has attained. Therefore, what to speak of other small kings? Even the Brahmavadis, they cannot attain the state that Dhruva has attained by the influence of his, by the power of the penances that he has undergone. Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, the son of Suniti, by the power of his own penances, he has attained this highest fruit. That highest fruit is nothing but the Vishnu Loka. He has attained that Vishnu Loka. That Vishnu Loka cannot be attained even by the Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis means the monistic philosophers, those who think that Lord and we are one. We can merge into the Lord. So those who are even the Brahmavadis, they may have got lots of knowledge. They may undergo so many penances, but still, because of not placing Supreme Lord in their heart, they cannot attain that supreme abode. Therefore, even if such persons cannot attain Supreme Lord, what to speak of other kings? Even the Brahmavadis, those who have given up everything and they cannot attain Supreme Lord, what to speak of other small kings? So, Narada Goswami is telling for certain that whatever the son of Suniti Devi, Dhruva, has attained, nobody else can attain. So, we will stop here and continue tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Shri Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyasa Mahamuni ki jai, Jai Shri Dhruva Maharaj ki jai, Shri Narad Goswami ki jai, Paramarattam Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.